Navy. Ah, man. I thought it wasn't what it was. It was. Got one for you right there. All right. We got a couple right here. There's a third one right there. I know I had a third one. All right, one loop. We rocking right off the back. Welcome back, Jackson, Mississippi, and these United States to Make It Make Sense Jackson, the hottest growing podcast radio show. Though some people say we're not, I'm somewhat of journalists trying to bring you the truth, even though some people seem to be very upset that we dare call ourselves black folks bringing you journal news. But welcome back to Make It Make Sense Jackson. I am your host, Tariq Abdul-Tawwab, along with my co-host, KP, a.k.a. Keandon Perry Jr., a.k.a. The Young Man, and my producer, a.k.a. Content Helper, a.k.a. Mr. Wilson. We're here, y'all. But
hey, y'all.
Welcome back. We've had a very exciting week. I'm not even going to hold you. We've got a lot to talk about. First, we're going to start this show like we do every show, hoping that you all have done something productive. We know a lot of you all did something productive in front of the Hood building downtown yesterday, but we hope everybody did something productive. And we'll start with a moment of silence for those of our loved ones that left out and did not return home. But yeah. We got a show for you today. So right before this, I had an interview. So yesterday, let's just get right into a little bit of the nitty gritty of it.
You gonna jump straight in like that?
Man, we don't do that.
I'm still trying to digest all of this, man.
Things are moving at a rate, and this is what I put. I was gonna start. I was gonna start with a certain song, but we're at a point now where as a community, Make It Make Sense Jackson, we've done some things that are amazing, right? And what that is we bought up some truths about what's happening to us here, and we've not allowed yesterday's price to be today's price. We've called out things like the Mississippi Shuffle. We've called out ways that folks keep information out of the hands of folks here in Mississippi. So we're talking about black people specifically, and because they don't have access to that information, they're not able to make the decisions necessary to protect our future, right? In doing that, you also have to realize that there's people on there that are going to hate as well, right? And that's just going to happen. That's not something that, we ever thought wouldn't happen. But I think that as we sat up here and we talked about it, we got open. Remember, we had senators reaching out saying we shouldn't talk to y'all. We had Senator Ron Brown calling and saying, why are you all letting him talk like that on air? And thankfully, Sherry asked a simple question. If he's telling the truth, we want to let them talk, right? And one of the reasons that I played that song coming in is this is the time when the community is really going to have to make sure we're standing on what we say.
Yes, sir. It's getting thick out here.
It's getting thick out here. But I think we knew that the moment we started talking about what's really happening, and the moment we said Jacksonians or Mississippians are worth anything, we were going to have a problem. And that's what you saw start happening. You saw Make It Make Sense Jackson start to talk about our worth. And not be quiet, no matter whether it was our worth here in Jackson, Mississippi, at Mount Olive, whether it was our worth in Hattiesburg, whether it was our children's worth at school systems in Jackson with 17 schools getting shut down, whether it was our children's worth at Pineywood. Everywhere we've talked about how our people are not being affected, and all of that is coming from the mouths of our people. That's why this is termed the People's Platform, if you've been with us from the beginning. But as we've done that, it's getting thick. You have people that just do not want us to speak truth. Yeah. Especially not speak truth to power like we saw take place at the data center hearing, where you saw Mr. Robert Island attempt to escape, and you saw not one mainstream news. First off, there was only one news station there, but you saw no one ask him any serious questions except Make It Make Sense Jackson. And then you have one of these stations have the nerve.
Not one.
Multiple stations.
Yeah, they sending the big dogs now.
Yeah, have the nerve to attack Make It Make Sense Jackson as we describe the violence that's surrounding the data center discussion and the violence that surrounded us as African Americans. Every time we tried to stand against something like a data center, a black city council points the arrow at us.
That was wild.
So that's the problem. Police line the streets.
You can look at the video.
You can look at the video. Make sure if you're not following Make It Make Sense Jackson, this is probably the day to hop on. It's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Make It Make Sense Jackson, JXN. If you're on Instagram and you're like, not that much is here, it's just really us. This is really not a secret organization with 30 people behind working. It's really just me, the young man, and our producer. Trust is a big thing in this business, and that's how we keep things the way they should be for you. We do the research ourselves, and we talk to our community. That's the validity, or the golden seal, of Make It Make Sense Jackson. So make it make sense, Jackson, JXN. Go look at the page, and you'll understand that we're reporting on things no one else is reporting on.
This is about the third or $4 million plus entity to basically come for us.
This is how you see it. So you have, man, there's so many things surrounding this. So first off, just understand what's happening as a community. As a community, we're standing up, and this is what they're doing. They first tried to squash the voice of Make It Make Sense with some black senators that they thought had a closer reach to us. Then they went outside of that and had racist podcasters start talking about us and calling us names. Then they had black racist podcasters that don't like themselves, don't know if they want to be a Nation of Islam or want to be white supremacists. Right? Kim Wade is what I'm talking about. Then they had them say negative things. And then when that didn't work, then they had people like Malcolm Johnson from within the community start speaking up and do negative things. Listen, let me tell you something. The problem with us is we speak it everywhere it happens. If you see something, say something. We pointed out all the way through it. And now, when you see that the people are starting to respond, not to Tariq, but to the idea that the city council is doing something wrong, why would Parkinson, LaShia Brown Thomas...
That was creepy, too. I forgot about that.
Oh, that creepy Wade Parkinson gave us outside of City Hall?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was meant. I mean, but that's threatening. If you want to say me discussing news events is threatening, and we'll get to that. But that was more threatening than anything. Wait, what is it?
No, it's the scream across the entire.
That Howard Dean scream, yes.
Hey!
Yeah, he yelled at us across the street. I was like, that you introduced the you supported
We got
it.
you last night.
Yeah, we got you good last night. We got those police out there, and they knew we were running a story on you to say, so the story gets run. Now, mind you, if you were there yesterday, why would you run this story? We don't have to promote violence. So, LaShia, let's understand this, Miss Brown Thomas. I don't know why y'all thought this would pull you out the spotlight or make you look cleaner. And did you call those Jackson police officers yesterday? We're going to get an answer from Chief Brackney. Community organization leaders, and a lot of them women, are already setting those meetings up with Chief Brackney. Chief Brackney has that same background as all of these leaders here, anywhere from Women's Roundtable to People's Advocacy Institute to Mississippi Moves to every single one of them.
I would hope she wouldn't do nothing.
So you're going to have to answer us. Was that LaShia Brown Thomas's allegiance that those officers were paying when they lined up yesterday? Chief Brackney, we need to know. I don't think that was you. That doesn't seem like anything in your background. But you lined up officers to threaten two black men from telling the community who ruled to table the moratorium. That's all we try to do.
If they made the vote, why wouldn't they want their name next?
Why would you want your name extended? So, again, as we call for answers, when we first started this, we didn't say anything about we need to ask questions to the council people. We're waiting for them to respond to you all. LaShia Brown Thomas stayed hidden. This black woman is using white citizens council tactics against black people right in Jackson, Mississippi. This is crazy, y'all. Welcome to Make It Make Sense. Caller, you're on air.
Well, I'm looking at her district. And if you just go down Terry Road and look at her district, since she's been elected, she has done absolutely nothing. That place, it looks like Vietnam. And it's just a shame that I ask all the time, we said we leased the Air Force, right?
That's right.
So where are the terms, the length of the contract, the amount that the city of Jackson is getting in return for leasing that property? We are not, that should be public record.
Should be.
That's right. Now, do you have any idea where, like you talk about the water, it should be? You're 100% right. So, from your perspective, what would be, knowing her a little more than maybe some of us do or of her, what is her goal in keeping us quiet about this data center? What do you think in her background would lead her to go against the people?
Well, you look at what they're doing in Northeast Jackson. Prado and this guy, Robert Island, this attorney, they're the ones behind this data center. And what they don't realize is what it's going to do to the environment is going to be terrible. They're fighting that in Louisiana right now.
Exactly. Everybody got it.
Yeah, everywhere they have it, yes, sir.
You know how much water it's going to take to cool that facility? The money, and it's good money. It's a lot of money. But is it worth the lives of the people and the citizens of Jackson?
It's not like it's any money for the citizens of Jackson.
No, and the jobs are small, front-end jobs, constructing. Thank you, sir.
You're going to have a lot of economic boom, but 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we already got a water crisis right now. and it has not been resolved. And now we got these guys trying to take over the water. And my understanding is they can't take over the water unless we sign a railroad
There you
agreement.
go. There you go. Yes, sir.
So-
Yes, sir.
So have we signed a lease agreement for the water too?
No, we're asking the city council to reject the lease. That's all they have to do for starters to stop the water authority from coming, and they won't do that.
Well, I mean, it's all about, it boils down to control and money,
Yes, sir.
you know.
Yes, sir.
Now, I mean, if you look at it economically, what they're doing in Northeast Jackson right now is really creating a whole new city for themselves.
Absolutely.
Because they have their own police department, they have their own court system, they have their own, that's what they're concerned about, because economically, that's where all the building is going.
That's right.
Yep.
LaFleur's Bluff. A lot of the money LaFleur's Bluff East got, they're spending over there.
I mean, and if you look at it, it's really gentrification.
There you go.
That's all it's
Let's call it what
basically.
it is. Yes, sir. We appreciate you, my brother. You're right on point.
Yep. They
So
all,
what we need to do as people, we need to be, what really aggravates me about the people of Jackson is, we don't stand up and band together.
Well, we're there now, so keep going with what we need to do. We're standing up now, so what do you think we need to do on this next step before I take another call? What's the next step we need to do, my brother?
We need to have a platform and have people to come out so we can speak towards this.
That's right.
We need to put flyers out, everything, so we can start having rallies. Because if you affect them economically, now you're doing something.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes,
we
sir.
need to have days where we don't shop with anybody.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, I think that I'm going to take another call if this, the other, but listen, my brother, I agree with everything you just said, and I'm going to keep repeating the call to do just that, brother. We appreciate you listening.
Have a great day.
Yes, sir. And call if we lost you, you can jump back in. But just to repeat, I think that this brother rushed us to exactly where we're at right now. We started this by saying they are on us together collectively. They're not on Tark because, or the KP or the young man, or Mr. Well or D. They're not on us because we are so powerful. Please understand that. They're on us because collectively a whole community of 10, 20, 30,000 people are saying this is important. When 35,000 people look at a post of non-Gabriel gas stations being coded as supermarkets instead of being rightfully coded as convenience stores, that shows you that people are interested in what's being done to the people here. We're interested in what's being done to us is what I mean. So that's where this pushback is coming from. And then all of a sudden you see, so just to recap what happened, yesterday we had, and it's time to touch on it, yesterday, and let me back up and say this. To my brother in California, and you know who I'm talking to, brother. You called in, you've been there since the beginning. We need your help. I've been calling for help from day one. I've never sat here and said, we've got this and we're locked in. We need help from everywhere possible to help the folks here in Mississippi that have been being broken down for centuries. And we found out where the gap is coming from. We know where the history of white supremacy comes from. But we found out the hole in the tube that's been letting all this water out here in Jackson and probably in Mississippi over the last 30, 40, 50 years, right? Since we got the, quote, right to vote. We found those holes. And now every major news, first you saw every councilman, everybody be quiet, be quiet. Everybody just kept telling us to be quiet. And then the more information, the more you told them to be quiet. And that's when the movement started. When you started speaking and listening is when the movement started. When you called in and said, hey, Mr. Ford, this is on our show. I just repeat things that happen on our show. Man, Mr. Ford, stop messing up progress. This is who I am. And the brother gave his name. Big up to my brother I saw at Walgreens. He said, this is who I am, my name and where I'm at. Man, stop interrupting progress. And this brother's trying to talk about what's happening. The community started standing up and making it make sense, right? And then yesterday's price didn't become today's price. And what happened? We called it what it was, plantation Democrats. Definition? A Democrat, especially harmful when they're African American of African American descent, whose policies, collaborations, and decisions align with the far-right GOP, especially in a deep South state. Eric Adams is an example of a plantation Democrat. But Mayor Horn and the decisions that are being made here is doing the same thing by definition. And so it's not bad enough that that in a city council we have major representation. Hartley, and he came out yesterday and acted a fool.
Sure did.
Acted a fool. Ross from the news station acted a fool. These people are not used to you having a say at all. Hold on, boy. You speaking for them people. You need to shut up and sit back and realize how it works here. That's how they tell me.
That's not how it works here.
That's not how it works here. I know you see people in Mississippi, young man, come here, Black Friday, I know all that, but you need to pay homage to the people that get a voice. If you're not talking under the banner of this black person, that black person, shut your mouth. Don't you ever come to us under no banner of folks from Sub 2 and a dish burn and these different places, just West Jackson, period, or South Jackson. Don't you ever get on there and openly say John Horn's only doing stuff for white folks in downtown Jackson partners and doing nothing for West and South Jackson. That's what he told me. That's not how things work here, boy. Yes, it is, because the people said it. The people don't care nothing about your threats. I don't know where you're going to when you leave, but where I went to when I left, the people said, good job, Tark, and high five. Some of the people I'm around. And there are people that sit everywhere you sit, in city council, in government. They sit in the same places. They said, thank you for speaking up for us. Not one curse word. No unprofessionalism. No, the unprofessionalism was in Vernon Hartley cussing us out from the steps of City Hall. Because I asked him, Mr. Hartley, can you explain to your constituents why you voted to table the moratorium? And his response to me was, so we could have time to see what it could do. Well, sir, that's the definition of a moratorium. It gives us time to see what this would do to us. And this is the respect he has for you all. And when that didn't work, the police showed up. Why would I have a problem with you, Mr. Police Officer? You're going through the same thing I'm going through. I don't know who told you to show up, but you're going to be a prop in a good way. What did I do? I turned around to the JPD officers. Look at them. Which one of them want a data center here? Because some of them live in Jackson. None. Which one of them are benefiting from Mayor Horn and whose family is benefiting? None. So now you look at these things and you realize, okay, now you have it. And then what comes next? What comes next after we don't bend to the pressure of the city council and of things of that nature? Then you see coming the big boys. So now,
all angles.
You reach out from all angles and you send them in. I get the call. Can you come to an interview? And interview about what? I'm confused. I'm getting ready. But they're talking about violence in the paper. And then we see, finally, put it in, we don't have to promote violence. Council members respond to backlash over data center vote. Remember yesterday we started where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, but our version was where in the world is Lashia Brown Thomas? We found her.
Oh, she showed up.
She's with WLBT, telling them that we don't have to promote violence. So asking you to explain to your people, and you didn't call it WLBT. It's so many ironies to this, y'all. It's so many ironies to this, right? So WLBT was the only radio station back in the civil rights days to ever lose their FCC license.
TV station.
TV station, excuse me, thank you. To ever lose an FCC license. That with that history, yes, that was what, in the 60s? Long time ago. But in the backdrop of that being the history of WLBT, that first Lashia Brown Thomas somehow managed to get the police out there because Vernon Hartley said on tape he didn't call them. Remember, we asked the question again. That's journalism. Journalism is not run up on someone with a sign that says stop something. It's not run up on someone who have the right to do all of that. Journalism is saying to you, sir, this is Tark Abdul-Tawwab with Make It Make Sense Media. Mr. Hartley, did you call those police on us? What did he say? No, I didn't. I'm just out here on break. I'm on lunch. Okay, Mr. Hartley. Can you answer why you voted to stop the moratorium that all the people wanted? And so the Shia then says they're violent. Man, so I call out on the live white supremacists in blackface. And that's what you do, the Shia. You think the next thing is to call the white supremacist media, not the white supremacist, excuse me, to call the police and act like we're the violent ones. That's the next move. You can't, and so the real violence is what we said. The real violence, because I have a hunch that WLBT may not run this, when I did the interview with them. WAPT, excuse me. Thank you very much. And just go to our page if you want to see the interview with, what's his last name?
Ross Adams?
Ross Adams, yes. We'll run it again with a subtitle so you all can see the entirety of it. But there was
never seen him cuss before.
Yeah, he cussed me out too. Well, everybody's cussing me out. I don't understand. And the young man, thankfully you weren't there, KP. He can't cuss you out like we got cussed out yesterday. But everybody's cussing folks out when we're trying to bring these stories forth. And I'm being serious. Call me back on the phone and just let me have it. What y'all do isn't journalism? Whoa. And what you do is, sir?
I ain't seen no.
I haven't seen you talk one thing about Robert Island and used to be on the housing task force. Let's talk about it. So how are you a better journalist than I am, sir? And we're just talking. We're not even trying to be journalists. But who told us that Robert Island was on the housing task team? Have you heard that from any news station? Maybe I haven't, maybe I haven't. I'll wait.
We've run several stories.
I've run several stories. Who told us that downtown Jackson Partners used to be called CCI, hidden away in archives? But you're not a journalist, you're right. I'm not. Not the way you consider journalism. But you're reporting what I'm told. It's not the definition of journalism. Journalism is reporting what happened. So jump on our page, make it make sense, Jackson. JXN, you're going to have to forward this one. We need the community here too. That's why we played that 1G regulator. Mount up. We need everybody to mount up because they're coming for the truth. So we need you all to re-forward that interview with Ross. And one of the main reasons people don't like interviewing me is I don't give you anything to cut up. I'm just going to give you the facts. And listen, I told you before the interview, got a radio show with countless people waiting for me. This is how much time I have. I've got to stop at the end of that. Said that at the beginning. That time came. I let him know I've got to go. You know what he told me? This ain't how it works here. You answer my questions.
What was y'all at when this happened?
In front of City Hall. That's when Kevin Parkinson gave us the freaky yell. "Ah!" And then waved at us. I don't know what's going on, y'all. It's getting freaky. Help! And I'm not joking. Laughing. Help! Y'all better look out.
Coming for us, they coming
Yeah, they coming for y'all. We just in the
What
way.
made y'all go over there?
We were doing. They're responding to Ross in the interviews.
all these.
Yeah, so they ran an article. We just told them, and that's a good point. Bring it back to it. You've got to look at the article. We don't have to promote violence.
He said himself that we never said anything about violence, but why are we here then?
So
Why-
listen to the article. After the meeting, community activist Tarek Abdul-Tawwab recorded a video urging people to make the. You see how they phrase it? I'm covering on what happened in there and talking about how we stop a data center that people are talking about will become Cancer Alley. And this black man is comfortable enough. I mean, I say that. I don't know who wrote that story. The news is comfortable enough phrasing it as, I filmed a video urging people to make the council uncomfortable, not saying the council voted to remove a moratorium. This is why I say journalism where? I'll wait. Who went to journalism school? Where's the journalism? So then you say, then Ward 6 Lashia Brown Thomas, who was called out by Abdul Tawwab directly, she didn't even say why I called him out, for removing the moratorium against data centers. She appeared and said, my comments appear to be an indirect threat. So me saying to the public, let me tell you what I said. Now this, Miss Brown Thomas, black people, this is plantation democracy. This is white supremacy and blackface. We're talking about where the help was filmed. If you don't know, and Lashia Brown Thomas said that me saying she shouldn't have removed the moratorium, I explicitly told Jacksonians, don't you ever resort to violence against our own city council. On that same live.
Yeah, that's in there too.
That's disgusting. And they said, to your point, they did all of that, but they said, however, it was in the video, Abdul Tawwab, at the end they always will give you the truth of it, to your point. In the video, Abdul Tawwab called out the 4 council members who voted to table a moratorium. Why didn't you put that earlier? When you talk about why I said
They
that.
list the 4 councilmen.
They didn't list the 4 council. Of course they did. Of course they did. But this is journalism.
You can't get me like
This
that.
is journalism. So, in the video, Abdul Tawwab called out the 4 council members who voted to table a moratorium on data centers at his meeting last week, including Ward 7 Councilman Kevin Parkinson, who said passing the moratorium could violate the law. Parkinson said he hasn't been threatened directly, but why would you call me and wave to me with the stare fingers wave if you feel like I'm creating a temperature that's too high?
Right, if he was threatened.
Why would you, this is what I'm talking about. Kevin, you know I'm not lying. We just left City Hall. I didn't even see him. We're walking to the car. Me and my producer. And he yells out to us, hey, nothing wrong with that. I waved back, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't have any hostilities. I just want the truth to come out. But you are saying that my temperature's too high, but you're waving at me. What's going on here, Jackson?
You know, playing about Parks, and I watched his video on his page. He did exactly what Vernon did. He explained why they needed data centers and what it was going to do, but that's what the moratorium would have did. What's the point of you making a 5-minute video or something that would have took 183 days to explain vividly? I don't understand that. I mean,
That's you got to focus. The young man's bringing up, and you have to focus on the fact that they said we're going to table
a moratorium, but you went and made a video about what the data centers bring. What's the whole point of you taking it away then, Parkinson, Pee Wee Herman?
And what I'm doing is I'm bringing this up. I talk a lot. Yeah, no, I talk a lot, so I like to go to definitions, right? A moratorium is a temporary pause. It is not a ban. Unlike some people who do their whole shows with AI, I'm just looking up a definition. A moratorium is a temporary pause. It is not a ban. It is not a permanent no. And Brian Grizel, shame on you too. Shame on you for shame on you.
We trying to defend his ward.
We're trying to defend you and your moratorium. And knowing if you watch the whole video, we never meant, as a matter of fact, we implicitly, and this is when the community has to stand up.
He was making it look good.
The communities, that's right, you said it. The community has got to stand up. Shout out to Natalie Speaks. She was there and she told the truth. The community is going to have to continue standing up. And there's a lot of people we already work with. What I'm saying is that's a sister that recently I started to recognize her information and use it for accuracy and got to speak with her and build and break bread with her. And y'all going to have to make sure these facts stay in the open. And that's my beg. It's not a demand or anything. It's a beg. Because for you all to come into a moratorium being a temporary pause, not a ban, not a permanent no, that means we can open it back up. We just want to see. And Vernon Hartley stood in front of the city hall and said, we stopped the moratorium to see if we needed one. And then when we clearly weren't breaking the law and the police wouldn't do anything to us,
They think we stupid.
had to be hauled away by a police officer.
They
They think we stupid. But Vernon Hartley is the same man that sat in city council, looked at black people and said, we need to make the white folks in the state more comfortable with our behavior. But when a young African-American man from Jackson and Mr. Abdul-Tawwab stand up and ask you a simple question, give us the reason. We gave you a platform to tell us what we don't know. Oh, great politician. What is it that we're not seeing with these data centers? Because we just heard from our brothers up the street. We just heard from people in Houston, Texas. We got people showing videos of the noise that it makes and of the dangers of it. So we gave Hartley the platform, the water quality. We gave the platform and we got nothing but the police behind us.
How you doing today?
Excellent, my brother. How are you?
I
Glad to hear from you.
I'm glad to be heard. Mr. Tisdale used to always say, and I guess back in those days they took it somewhat threatening as well, where he used to always tell them, barrels of ash hounds soaked in oil, with that 40-weight gold oil. And I guess in secret that he was going to put it on the city council. Like,
yes, sir.
Harley Johnson and all the rest of them.
Yes, sir.
I've been looking for that map to show where those action hounds are buried at. But like I say,
We might need a couple.
What's our crime is up with? Well, I listened to you all yesterday and listened to the white man that was on the news yesterday. I just realized the extent of my vote. My vote don't go no further than just voting for an individual to hold office.
Yes, sir.
I don't have no vote on no issues that concern me. You know, they make the decision as if they have all the power, and then they give away stuff that they built. They don't earn. They don't own. Like the airport. How the heck is that the mayor can give away something he owns? And then the city council can make contracts that are going to affect my cheering this, and I don't have anything to say about it. If you all had said everything way down there, meeting yesterday, they were there when they and done. But you all trying to get front of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, once that they mentioned that the public was speaking out for us.
I'm looking for the actions. I believe we'll need the actions.
Well, I appreciate you, my brother. First off, for being there and for speaking up. Yes, sir. You have a great day.
It's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
I mean, what y'all got to say to the public, WMPT, that they saying we saying the right thing.
And we got it. Thankfully, it's low volume on there, guys. But when you look at it, you see the. I apologize to my wife for not having everything straight on my shirt. But you get to see the interaction between us and Ross. And what happens is this is the business as usual. We're trying to break it. Listen, we've said from the beginning. Yeah, horrible, man. We said from the beginning, and this is the time when we really talk to you. You know, stress happens, man. We look at people, and we look at, and thank God you never use the word leader for us. But when you try to stand up, the stress comes so heavy. But when I see you all, brother, shout out brother Jeremy. When y'all reach out to us, shout out brother S, and I know they try to lean on you, so I'll just use S. But the community in stores, in grocery stores, at gas stations, y'all hear my voice across the aisle and come over and be like, hey, keep doing what you're doing, brother. I may not agree with everything the same way you say it, but I know you've just given us truth. You ain't talking about nobody. You all suffice me, but it's needed, man. Listen, you're starting to push down, and there's no break here. There's no break here.
There's nothing they can do.
There's nothing they can do to stop it except wipe out folks they think are keeping the movement going. So this is the media that they're saying. You're saying that we're being violent now when these data centers are violent. You're picking on things that we do to inform the people for it.
Welcome to Make Sense Call. You on there?
Welcome to Make It Make Sense Call. You're on air.
Yes, I'd like to share something I heard, and I think it needs to be shared. I want to make sure I correct on. I saw something on television. This white man was at the airport, and he showed his driver's license, and they said it was not legit. and he said he had just gotten it changed, you know, a new license.
Uh-huh.
And I thought about that now. They want our driver's license when we go vote, and if a lot of people have licenses that are not legit, make sure you have more than one identification, because they're going to do everything
Yes, ma'am.
to try to block our votes.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you have your birth certificate, your driving, whatever gives identification. I said, my God.
You gotta be aware. We've gotta protect it from every way possible. Yes,
We
ma'am.
already know they lied and cheated before, but they're doing everything they can. So make sure you have more than one or two items that show your true identification.
That's right. We appreciate you, sister. Yes, ma'am. And we thank you for listening too, okay?
Keeping us on our toes.
But that's right. Let's keep us on our toes. And that, listen, this is what that brings forth. Everyone in their own generation felt their own pain. And what you're seeing now is all of us swimming downwards at the same time. My job ain't your job. His job ain't my job. We all got to yell out we see something and start working together because we got some momentum. But we've got to push together. Whether it's protecting our vote and getting that duplicate ID like that sister said, or these brothers and sisters I watched that teach us how to grow some food so that we get ready for some of these food. But this right here is organized attack on a message that you're getting too strong. And the problem is,
Your First Amendment right.
Council President Brian Grizzell Mason mentioned threats made against city leaders in a statement released Thursday morning, and this brother didn't even read it. Now, what type of games is city council playing? So Brian introduces the moratorium. I get bothered at them for removing it. Never mentioned violence. He would have had to see that if he watched the live. 1,000 people saw it, and it was reposted hundreds of times. Big up to you all for doing it. He had to have seen that if he knew this. I intentionally said, do not use violence, and let me give you the verbiage. I'm a call center manager. You got the wrong one. I gave folks a script of how we do it here. I said, go to LaShia Brown Thomas. You're going to get your name out there, sister. The right way, because we've done it the right way. I said, go to LaShia Brown Thomas anywhere you legally can. Man, right? Anywhere the law allows you to approach her about her job. You go and you ask her, why the hell would you stop the moratorium? Go look at politics everywhere else. That's the way you do it. That's our forefathers. Blood rights that we were passed down to as citizens. Everywhere that law allows you to confront her about her political decisions, you confront her with this package. And I gave them the package. Say this, 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 and this. Do not use violence. And Grizzell saw that. What type of games are you all playing, City Council?
Who are you working for?
Who are you working? It's not the people at this point. Because I'm out there with the people. I'm only speaking with the people. This is the people's platform. And the people have made it that way by co-signing it. So who are you working for? So, Brian, did you really not want to put the moratorium up? You just put it up because you was mad at somebody because your brother got kicked?
It was his war. It's his war.
Oh.
Put it in his war.
You just didn't like the fact it was going in your ward.
If it came back to him, somebody might feel
So because it was going to be put on Forest Ave in Grizzell's ward, he had to say something.
I guess.
But you didn't really want to say something because once I spoke up for you and said, yeah, Brian Grizzell did do this.
Ward 3 is Kenny Stokes.
But with Forest Ave is Kenny Stokes. So then why would you even, this is flabbergasting. So why would Brian Grizzell bring up the moratorium, and then when I try to fight for it, he had to know I didn't use violence because I said in there.
Well, that's probably why Kenny Stokes wasn't there.
This is crazy, you all. This is your king? You know how they hold it? This is your king? Now we know what's been going on in Jackson. And what I love is it's not a white thing, a black thing. Even if some folks look at me like, yeah, stop talking to me. Of every color. This is connected. Folks aren't stupid. You can't keep just insulting everybody's intelligence. You should have just told the other white folks in Mississippi, yeah, we just want to take this stuff from them. Told them the truth up front. Maybe they would have given you some difference. But now they're noticing everything is a lie. And our own people are holding that line against us. I didn't get cussed out by someone, a white reporter. I didn't get cussed out by someone. I got cussed out by our own, a black reporter. Ross, I got cussed out by him, by Hartley. And go look at our page at the interview. What did I do that was wrong? I'm going to make sure you ensure that you hear what I said. Since you watched the whole video and you still don't get it because you didn't report everything I said correctly, let me make sure you get it. And then you can take this and you can give it to the people. But you wanted to chop it up your way is the only thing I can think of. Because why else would you be so? I gave you a full interview. I can't use this. This ain't how this works. You let me answer the questions. Sir, you said you wanted to. You contacted me and said, I'm interested in finding out whether you said any. And do you want to speak? Certainly, of course I want to.
He said he wanted your side of it.
He said he wanted my side.
Okay.
And I tried to give you my side, and you said, well, no, but there's no buts to my side, brother. It's either my side, that's it. I can only tell my side.
Especially when what you said is already recorded. And he admitted that you didn't make a threat. So what are we talking about anyway?
But it's okay, because you were going to do that anyways, in my mind. I'm not losing anything. See, I always knew the emperor didn't have clothes on, Mississippi. I always say I don't want the pain. I got children. I want to love them. I want to see them grow. But I know what it is. So I always knew if I kept fighting for us, eventually they'll fight against me just for doing that. So I'm not mad that he did that. And this is what the game is.
That's his job.
That's his job, apparently. Not to speak the people's truth, but to speak some people's truth.
The power's truth.
The power's truth. In a data center coming to Jackson, Mississippi, and it's LaShia Brown Thomas who accuses another black man of being violent for saying, we don't want this. And don't use violence. Use that little right that your ancestors bled for in Mississippi. You know, the right to stand up and speak. Use that when you see your council person.
Man, the anger in these people's eyes for standing up for the people of Jackson.
It wasn't even as far as civil disobedience, y'all.
This is crazy.
And this is what a black city council does. Well, let me say this, y'all. If anyone questioned the comment I made yesterday across the United States about white supremacy and blackface, LaShia Brown Thomas, Vernon Hartley, they're not questioning it today. We're still waiting on Chief Brackton. I haven't heard her say she sent those officers out there to line up behind us and intimidate us yet. The meeting was over. All of the public had dispersed for the most part. We still need answers to why police came and lined up behind us in an intimidating factor while we asked Councilman Hartley why he removed the moratorium.
Hold up, did they say you was trying to intimidate somebody?
That's what the newspaper said, but the video shows something different. The video shows police lining up while I'm trying to ask some simple questions, and a young man's trying to ask some simple questions, which at a certain point I didn't even want him to ask the questions.
I mean, we...
Because our First Amendment right was being
stopped. Why are we threatening? We cussed us out. We said, Mr. Hartley, come here and interview real quick. He said, yeah, fine. I'll give you an interview. Just a couple questions. You told us that we could interview you. How was we threatening you? Now, one thing, you say anything to you that can possibly make you want to, oh, they're trying to harm me. No, you ran out ready to hit us because we were telling the truth, homie.
And then he was honest. He was being held back on the steps as if he wanted to hit either the young man or myself.
The police officer had to come and get you, not us.
Who are these police officers working for? What is that? Why would a police officer stop you from giving an interview? Unless maybe you got a hot-headed name new. Maybe that police officer was saying
like we said, maybe if I had been with you the past couple of days, I believe, because I saw enough up to this point. But it's crazy, brother.
This is just telling the truth, saying, walk with me, and this is what it is. When Kevin Parkinson yelled at me outside of the city hall just now, I waved back and I answered. What are you mad at?
Turn your radio down.
That's my man.
Man. My favorite guy. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing okay, brother. How are you? Good to hear from you.
Good. Tell the little man that I said hello to.
Yes, sir.
Tell him that he did a good job yesterday, and I'm calling to commend you for doing what you did, man. We need more people like you doing that right there. Because if we continue to allow these asinine people, which you're talking about, to do what they feel they got power to do, then there's no telling where you, I, or others will be. There's no telling.
That's right.
You might as well acknowledge. And you did a good job, man. You stayed focused, which is something that I gotta commend you on. You stayed focused and you was hitting all the points. That's what you gotta do. You're getting your message and your point across very clearly. So don't quit, man.
Yes, sir.
Don't allow nobody to intimidate you, to scare you, or anything else. Period. Point blank. And you got my number, and you know where to find me.
Yes, sir.
If you need me, let me know.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, my brother. Don't worry. The one thing we ain't never felt is quit. I felt a lot of emotions over this time, but I can guarantee you, quit is not one of them. That's not in me. I appreciate you, brother. We love you. Listen, that right there, I'm going to pause for a moment, because this is, as Hartley told us, this is my show. Well, I'm being funny, but this is you all's show. That's what Hartley said when we asked him about it, to the young man. But listen, the young man, listen, this is our strength, right? That brother right there, you got to understand, y'all in trouble. That's why you're in trouble. You're not in trouble because I got a lot to say. I'm not that great. That's why you're in trouble. Who the hell, do you think I care what WAPT thinks? That reporter, because they all don't think like that. Do you think I care what you think about me? If Mississippi is saying that on the phone, and that ain't the first, man, they come up to me, man. I don't care what you say. The people have spoken. Yeah, they give me advice. Do this a little differently. Tweak that. That's the level they're at now when they call me. I'm getting text messages. Yeah, do this. Bring this up. Do that differently. The people have spoken. And not saying they target me to others. They've spoken. We're sick of the way you treated us. And the you no longer includes just boogeyman white features. We know what they've done to us and what they're still doing. But now it includes those in the house. That call been coming from in the house. And that call for them officers to line up behind us. In Mississippi, in 2026, for me to have to talk to y'all with the backdrop of officers, some white, some black, and I'm looking in my rearview mirror and I'm seeing it. Y'all, I don't know at what point what's happening. The Capitol's pulling up. Why would I feel like that? Because I asked the question, Mr. Hartley, why did you vote to table the moratorium? This young man said, can we speak to you? Why should we feel like that? What's the real jig? You said it was the YNs. That's what you called them, right? You said it was the young ones that's the problem. But when he asked, or Owen, that's what you want to call it, Hartley, Mr. Hartley, can I talk to you, sir? MFers. The jig is up, man. You got to either stand up for something or go ahead and keep falling for everything. And you keep trying to make it about Tarek when I speak. I'm just saying what you told me. Now the jig is up for real. Because the people I talk to aren't the people that get a voice every day. They're the people that's been shut up for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And they were itching to talk about it. And some of them are my blood. And been talking about it since I was born. What you think? Our ancestors ain't got no no reserves? What you think, Mississippi? Everything you did to them all them years, they didn't talk to us about it? Just because they didn't stand up because they couldn't? You misunderstood the definition of we are not our ancestors. You thought that was disrespectful. What it meant was we're going to take everything that they couldn't do and we're going to do it. So when my brother says you stood up and you stayed focused, brother, thank you. That's the only check mark I need. And then if you remember the things I should have done better, that's what I need to hear. Because I'm just trying to hurry up and say what they did before they erase it. Before they put it under a $14.95 subscription to to Northside Sun with an extra $5 or $6 to pay for the archives. I'm just trying to tell you before that happens. So we go out there, and to the young man's point, we simply, first Robert Island shows up. Let's talk about that.
Well, make sure to call you on there.
I got one more saying that I used to hear all the time from Mr. Tisdale. He used to always say that he may not like what you say, he may even disagree with what you say, but he'll fight to the death for you to be able to say it.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You know, that.
Yes, sir, my brother. I mean, that you listen.
Ain't that crazy how we went back in time?
Ain't that crazy how we've gone back in time, y'all? Any final thoughts you all can call in? This is really, when I say it's 601, I'm going to put it on that 601-948-5950. You showed up yesterday. You showed out, and you've been showing up since we started this a year ago when the elections happened here. Anything that you're feeling in these last 10 to 12 minutes, feel free to call the platform and let your voice, let your feelings be heard, because you stood by us while we stood by you. That's all Make It Make Sense Jackson is. You standing by us while we stand by you. And the reason we multiplied, the reason that now you got every news station saying we're a problem is because we stood together.
Well, can make sense call you on there.
Yes, I just want to thank you guys for being the voice for the city of Jackson, Mississippi. It's not going to be easy, you know. People are going to attack you in every way possible. You remember back in the 60s when they had 3 black high schools walk out to protest civil rights?
I remember the story, yes.
Okay, that's what you remind me of, you know. Somebody put a tie up under the adults in the city of Jackson. I thank you, brother. I really do. I thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for listening, and thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for shouting out all of us what we're doing, and the youth, and listen, it's you know.
Man, this started in the room, bro. Comfort room, bro. This started as just an idea. This was given to us just to, you know what I'm saying, as a
It's organic.
Yeah.
And it's funny what the brother's talking about, what you just said, KP. What he was talking about, I think one of those is back in '63 when the children in Jackson walked out. I looked it up because I would like to represent that. Let's talk about this, the people's time.
Well, it make sense call you on there.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing excellent, sister. How are you?
Okay, great. I'm doing well, thank you. I have a question. I kind of came in like after 4:30, but I have a question and maybe you all can help me. So my son went to prison for a year when he was 17, so since he went home and he enrolled in Delta Tech for electrician. And about 2 weeks ago, he went to Atlanta for 20 days for training. And now he's back, and he works at the data center in Ridgeland. And he's making about $1,200 to $1,500 a week. And so my question is, do you all have a problem with the data centers? And if so, can you explain to me what the problem is? 'Cause I just...
Yes, ma'am. And first off, let me just say,
I'll hang up and let you explain.
and you can stay if you like to, my sister. I appreciate whichever's more comfortable. But I appreciate you asking the question first off and giving us the background, because you're highlighting on two things here. And the way Make It Make Sense Jackson works is we address everything, even if it wasn't part of the question, right? It addresses the people. So I think the first thing you're addressing is how you get something like this over without people speaking up. You offer a lot of money on the front end. We spoke about this before, where the jobs on the front end or the few jobs. So when you're talking about a data center, there's a lot of jobs in constructing that data center. But once it's constructed, there's a handful of jobs generally reserved for highly trained engineers and technicians. So the first thing is making the people feel there's some type of economic stimulation. And thank you for being so honest and genuine, because my son, I've got 6 children. One just graduated from Tougaloo, one's on his way. So if my son is making $1,200, I'm going to look at that as, hold on, let me look at this a little deeper, right? Now let's stop at the problem that we're at first, right? So you can understand just joining. All over the United States, communities are raising up, to save time for another caller, are raising up against data centers, saying someone came from South Haven, Mississippi, and I want you to just look at that, because there's a wide proof of what people are saying why they don't want it, right? It uses 35 million gallons of water per day. That's got to be cooled down. There's questions about where the discharge is going, but we won't take up everybody's time because the whole United States is up in arms about data centers. I guarantee you, sister, just Google it, you'll understand why folks don't want data centers. But I need you to understand this before we go further. I need you to understand this. We're not talking data centers, my sister. Brian Grizzell tried to introduce a moratorium. We didn't say no to your son making good money long term. Sister, we just said, can we take some time with Cancer Alley in Louisiana in our mind, right? With all of the harmful things they built on black people, you're old enough to remember redlining and then building train tracks over our communities. Can we take a little time to see whether this, no one said no to this. So please, we're not going to go past that yet. When someone says no, we'll talk about it, but I need you to address and recognize where we're at. We're not at no, sister. They simply said, can we get some time to see how this affects us?
Yeah, I understood that, and I heard what happened. I just said that I myself was going to look it up, but for the older people who may have the same question as I do, because I am able to look up anything I want to know. But I thought I would bring it to the forefront because there may be some elderly person who gets made.
No, you're absolutely right, and I appreciate you. We're going to finish up with that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, you're making a good point, and we'll continue. Let me say this off of that, and thank you first off, sister, for calling and listening to us. I promise you we'll post more things on there, but what this sister's talking about is just the fact that we do not know, A, how this affects our environment. Let's just be very clear. We do not know, B, how this affects an infrastructure that is failing like Jackson's is failing. C, we have a water authority coming in that will be in control of a system that uses 35 million gallons of water per day. And D, that's right, my sister. We already have bills we don't understand. And D, and this is just scratching the surface. A lot of our audience gives a lot more. But D, we don't know what system they're going to use and how the discharge will be handled and what's going back in our water that we already don't know if it's clean. So I appreciate you, and I'm sorry to overtalk my excitement. You're very good for bringing that up, and that's what our elderly people need to start with looking at. And all we wanted was a moratorium so we could figure some of that out. But thank you for the question, sister, and I think that's important. I think what's even more important is them trying to offer that money to shut people up, man.
I mean, a lot of places, so far, that's what it's been. It's a lot of money on the front end.
Call back in.
Once the center is set up, then all those people will let go, and it's an automated system for the most part. Like the trapping is the income for the area, but it does not last. That's like a 3-month period in which people are getting paid, and after that, you're stuck with the forever chemicals.
Brookings has studied it too. This is not just talking. Brookings, pull up the Brookings studies on it. Advocate that it does not, and then you got the clown idea. Bringing a data center brings crime down. Even more ridiculous. that simply bringing a data center, if you're not going to guarantee a significant amount of jobs, that simply bringing a data center lessens a crime. No, there was a leader on there that said, when I go to the coffee shop, people are screaming for this. But what coffee shop are you going to? That would make a difference. If you in Beverly Hills at the coffee shop, maybe they are asking for it because you're full of investors. Let's get as many calls as we can on here.
Make sense, Kyle.
Turn your radio down for us, caller.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
You okay? Thank you for calling.
I want to just make a statement. You know, everything is coming over the airways, like the internet intelligence. All these things the rich man is created. But we have to understand that we're not part of that global richness, as you call it. So what's going to happen to the people that are struggling?
That's right.
The people in the third world countries, the people that's right here in the United States, they can't afford their life bills, don't have a decent job. I mean, this is one of the first times of pushing those people back in the beyond that it's going to be forgotten about.
That's right. That's 100. My brother, you hit it on the head, and I appreciate you first just for listening, but the exact statement you made is the only reason I put myself on a platform where I know it just continuously brings negative results on the front end. But what I'm hoping for, what we're hoping for, is what you just talked about. This is a platform where we don't let you punch down, and where we convince you that if you simply take care of those of us that have been getting stepped on the most, it will trickle up. And then you wouldn't have Rankin County, which makes good money, worrying about a data center. Richland wouldn't have to have worried about a data center had they stood up and protected Jackson when we were getting beat up on for 30 years. Had they looked at what was happening in Mount Olive, had they looked at Hattiesburg in the Delta, they wouldn't be worried about a data center right up on their neck had they pushed for the small person getting beat up from the beginning. So this show and this platform will forever remain dedicated to the people that don't have a voice. It's akin to Fannie Lou Hamer, who I talk about so much, but it's based on those that don't have a voice. That's who we talk to. That's who our stories come from. That's why our stories always don't go over the mainstream. Because our stories are stories of experience when you look on our website. And now we're living the experience of black people standing up for the bottom man. That's not what you'll do.
Let me say this about 4 examples.
Yes, sir.
You know, on Lake Haco, there used to be a power plant.
It sure did.
Yeah, right. So when the developers asked to rezone the 4th Avenue property to heavy industrial, residents remember the pollution, drain lakes, broken water pipes, ejection pads. They feared a data center will act exactly like a traditional power plant, sucking up millions of gallons of water, creating noise pollution, and using massive diesel generators that spoil the local air quality.
There you go. And so we've been down a road we've been down before. And it makes you question, why is LaShia Brown Thomas so intent on this going through that she had to remove the protection? Shame on you, City Council. Black. All you brothers and sisters calling in, I had to tell my sons to drive differently. I got black sons. God, you ever thought that's where it would come from? So when I have the family meeting tonight, I know my wife, some of you all know her, AKA, stands up, she's a beautiful sister right from here. My father-in-law, we're not going to keep going. But when I go home, I got to talk to my black sons and say, yeah, I know I told you before who was the JPD officer. I know 90% of them you know you had events with because you supported them. We love JPD officers. Let's just keep it real. I ain't worried about y'all. I ain't worried about JPD at all, in a good way. In a good way. When you speak for the people you're from, you ain't got to worry about that unless you want all of a sudden make JPD from another place. As long as they from Jackson, we're not worried about that. But you got to ask yourself, now I got to send my sons out and worry about whether they got to watch their back when that siren falls. Or whether there's a police officer that told me I'll drop you off. One of these young men I was fighting for told me I'll drop this young man off right in the white area. Remember at Metro? He said I'll drop him off in a white neighborhood, watch what they do to him. So I got to worry about that now from my own people.
Well, that makes sense, Kyle.
I'm sorry, that's on me. It's not her. I kept talking after that. I'm sorry, caller. I kept talking. It's your spot. You're on air, caller.
No, I'm calling. I want to leave a number to you because what I got to say to you as
You can send it right to my email at Make It Make Sense, or I can take the number you're calling on. I can see it, brother.
Okay, yeah, well, take my number and call me.
Okay, I'll give you a call. I can see it, brother. Thank you. All right, we got to start to wind down. Any other call? If you got 30 seconds, if you're not, we don't have any more time. We're at that end. Listen, tomorrow, not tomorrow, what am I talking about? Part 2. So, follow us on the website. Listen, if your uncle, if your aunt, if your grandmother, if me, my heart is especially heavy today because our family personally lost a family member that was very close to us, my cousin Pat, and I know no one from that side is listening, so I purposely didn't go into it, but love your especially your elderly. Love them, take care of them, look out for them. If they can't hear this next part of our show, which is going to be streamed on our Facebook page, it's on We Believe Digital. We go from 5:30, usually we jump on between 5:30 and 6, and we'll go till 7. Please run the Facebook stream for them so they can see it. So jump back on our Facebook page in about, 5 o'clock, about an hour, and we're going to go live again from We Believe Digital, and I'll highlight it. But you all, we need you. We appreciate you calling in, but we've already talked to you in the streets, and you're giving us more. This is the moment we've been pushing for. All we've been pushing for is a time when all the fish push down on the net at the same time. We're no bigger than any other call for freedom in Mississippi. We're trying to align with them. And we're going to push in the same direction they're pushing. We don't have to call them up to tell them that. Shout out to sisters and brothers that are out there fighting this fight. And please be sure of one thing. I told you all, if you watched the other show, there's only one room where the Target Dude 12 is quiet. And that's the upper room. For my co-host and myself, Tarek Abdul Tawab, shout out Mr. Wilson. We love you, Jackson. We'll be right back with part 2 in about 45 minutes. Make sure you jump on our Facebook page, Make It Make Sense, JXN, if you want to see the rest of it. We're out. No, I ain't gonna thank you.